Hey, how's it going, everybody? Give it a few minutes and we're going to get started here in just a sec. Um, while I'm getting things kind of just, set up and ready to go. QR code below if you'd like to try out Helium Mobile. Scan that QR code and then use my promo code to get 1 month free. All that by scanning the QR code. So give it a shot. You will not be disappointed with Helium Mobile service, which is, if not one of the only phone services out there that you can earn crypto on, which is pretty neat, pretty cool. We'll definitely give them that. Um, got got a good amount of videos on Helium Mobile, so if you're on the fence about it, check out my video so you guys can get all the deets regarding Helium Mobile to see if it's a good fit for you. And if it is, pull the trigger and scan that QR code. Sign up today and get your first month free. Yeah, so I'm about to kick the camera on here in just a little bit. Just give me a few more minutes here. And as you're coming in, feel free to please say hi. We are simulcasting on YouTube and Twitch. So if you're on the Twitch side, thank you for joining in. Appreciate you for the view, hanging out with me. As always, I talk mobile tech, telco, and all kinds of cool stuff with technology. So glad to have you on the Twitch side. On the YouTube side, most of you guys already know me, but big shout out and much love to you guys for coming back in and hanging out with me for an hour. Try to do these live streams for an hour, every other day or like once or twice a week. As well as my videos that are going up. And I am talking Pixel 8a, but I'm not going to dive too much into it, only because I have a video dropping to kind of go over majority of that in detail. But in this is just really to kind of get everybody else's questions and reactions on it, and to just, have your guys' feedback. But nonetheless, welcome, guys. Welcome back. Glad to have you guys here. Now, let me get the chat open for review. For those that want to post comments, questions, concerns, emotional outbursts, and all types of other things. It is flipping hot as hell on this very day. Happy Friday, Aloha Friday. But, I live in Phoenix, Arizona, and it is July 12th, 2024. And we are currently sitting at, where are we in temperature-wise? 112 degrees right now. And we're not even at the high point yet. The highs usually start around like 3:30, 4 o'clock p.m., all the way until about 6 p.m. So how are you guys doing? What's been new with you guys? What's been good? Make sure you guys are getting hydrated if you're in a very hot place. Stay hydrated. Believe it or not, I go through about 8 bottles of these a day. Throw it in my little Boost Infinite flask and keep it nice and ice cold. I love this thing. This thing can keep the ice good and like the liquid very cold for like 6-7 hours when I'm out and about. Anyways, yeah, so got some things to talk about. Obviously, Pixel 8a, the good and the bad so far with my daily driver device, as well as talking about Android and iOS security. And there is a poll. If you guys would like to answer that poll, and so that way I can check it out, see what your guys' thought process is. Yeah, so literally, I mean, that is the entire idea. And then we're going to talk about, the crypto side of Helium for those people who are still a bit, sketchy about the whole thing. Everything Tech, what's up, man? Welcome in. Glad to have you here. We'll talk a little bit more about Helium crypto and just, at least what I know. And I'm no crypto guru. I don't have all the tips and what coin you should convert your current coins to or whatever, to maximize your profits, your amounts, or any of that type of stuff. I don't have those types of tips. I'm just an average person that's like getting into crypto because of Helium Mobile. I'm getting into crypto because of that. And so yeah, I was going to share with you guys what I know so far. I'm not 100% accurate about these things, but nonetheless, we'll kind of go over it, and then I'll share that at the end of the podcast and everything. So we're going to be live for an hour. We're already 5 minutes into it, and so I want to start first with the whole Android versus iOS security. Like I said, I have a poll. I think somebody already voted on it right now, but I have a poll running, and we're going to see what everybody else thinks at the end of this discussion. And a reason for that is that there's a current hack for iOS happening right now. I really wouldn't say that it's a hack. It's more of phishing. It's more phishing, deception, and user error And every time I go live, that one dog, my one dog Courage, is the one that has to bark at everything. I think a car like pulled by or something. I don't know. Anyways, all right. So you guys may have heard about it on the internet. You guys may not have, but it seems to be that there is a hack for iOS. Hackers are getting into users' accounts by being able to hack their Apple ID. Now there's a little bit of of a reasoning behind that, how it happens. I'm going to explain that. I took about 2 days to kind of just look into it. So I'll share that with you guys. Literally, so how this happens is that you get an SMS message on your iPhone, right? So on your iMessage app, you get an SMS message and it claims to be Apple. It claims to be from Apple. It claims that, there's an issue with your Apple account, or, there's a service that you have that you need to, agree to, or just, whatever the case may be. The message will outline, one, that they're an Apple representative, and two, there's something that you need to do with your iCloud, your Apple ID account. And then it has a hyperlink in the message, and it tells you to click there, sign in, and whatnot. So it's not really a hack. It's more user error, in my opinion, because first of all, in order for this to even be effective and work, you have to click the hyperlink. You have to click the link. You have to click the link. You have to get in there and sign in with your Apple ID. Anyway, sorry about that. I'm like getting messages like left and right while I'm doing this. But anyways, yeah. So it's really just user error on that part. You have to follow the instructions of the hacker from the message in order for you to get your iCloud account taken, whatever, and everything on your Apple account, your iCloud account, whatever you want to refer to it as. It has a lot of your things, right? It has, a lot of your credit cards, a lot of your debit cards, a lot of your gift cards. It's got your name, your address, access to your photos that you have backed up. And this is how, people's photos get leaked, get taken, and all that stuff. So, when you look at something like that, like a message, you have to ask yourself if this is legit every time. And I know it sucks to always think that. You would like to think that Apple is looking out for your best interest and that they're going to reach out to you and, tell you if something's up. But that's not always the case. That is not always the case with them. So you can't always think that like every message that comes through that says that they're a person from Apple, and you need to do this, and that to fix the issue. Doesn't necessarily mean that that's who they are. And I asked this because this is one of the things that people talk about. They're like, oh, Android is absolutely insecure. Android sucks. Their security sucks. But no, it really doesn't. Android is in the same boat when it comes to a lot of its users getting their devices taken over, having information leaked, having exploits installed on their device. They tend to do that. And whoa, there's a baby spider. I just noticed a baby spider was crawling up my microphone. What the hell? But yeah, it's the same way on Android. I know most iOS fans and those that are fans of Apple don't want to hear that. They would love for Apple, things that attack Apple to be user error, and everything that attacks Android to be Android's fault. But that's furthest from the truth. Majority of the time, a lot of the vulnerabilities and insecurities on Android is user error. And I'll explain what I mean. A lot of these malware installs come from third-party installations. Now I know some people will point it out and be like, well, that's Android's fault. Android should lock it down. Android is open source. They're not iOS. iOS is locked down. Apple tells you how to use your phone. I hate that. That's in layman terms really how it is. Apple says this is how you use an iPhone. Use it that way. You don't really have the free range. And I don't care if anyone says iOS 18 lets you change the color of your icons and move them whatever you want. That's not giving you the freedom to use your phone the way you want. That's just them giving something that they can't avoid anymore. Apple cannot avoid its users from coming back to them and saying the reason why we stopped using an iPhone and switched to a Samsung Galaxy is because we can do more with the Galaxy. We have free range of more things to do. And so Apple gave you the one thing that's very bare minimum and doesn't take away of their grasp on your usage. And that is tinted icons and dark mode icons and move your icons where you'd like. That's like looking at a card and trying to tell someone it's a box. They can show you a card and it does look like a box when you look at it. It's got 4 corners, it's got 4 sides. They'll show you the front and the back of it, but when they hold the card sideways, it's thin as hell. It's not even a real box. And that's pretty much Apple's logic to a lot of things. So no, iOS 18 gives you the freedom to customize it as far as looks. It gives you that, but that's about all you get. You really don't have freedom with it. You really don't have the freedom at all. And what I mean by the freedom is that if you go on Android, you can install a launcher. You can change all that up. You can design your home screens the way you want. You can install apps that are not on the Play Store. That's part of the freedom of it. You being able to install the apps that you want to install on your device. So when you look at that versus what iOS does, okay, Android has the freedom. I know some people don't like to hear that, but that is the way of it. So, yes, we have the freedom. What up, Sneed? We have the freedom on Android to install apps, to put what we want on there. That comes with us having to be a bit smarter and not do some of the dumbest things, that install something that has malware, that has, an exploit that can cipher your information off your Android device. That's where it becomes user responsibility. So when it comes to Android security, when it comes to iOS security, they're not all that different. They're really not. The only key difference is that one, you have to be the one that is responsible for the things that you do. The other one, you got a better chance of keeping your stuff private and secure because you're not allowed to fiddle with your stuff the way you want to. You got to do it their way. That is the difference. That is the key difference between them. So, as I let the poll continue to run, if you were to ask me how I felt about all this, all of it is always going to be user error. If there's an exploit that happens, if someone gains access to your Apple account, if they gain access to your Google accounts, user error. It's something that you've done that created the vulnerability or allowed the vulnerability to happen. As stated with the newest ones, it's not anyone. So that's kind of why I'm doing this. I want to kind of put it to bed. It's not anyone that is cracking into people's Apple accounts without needing the user to make an error. All right. They don't have the genius way of just breaking in and stealing it. Now, there's some people that know how to do it. There are some really good hackers in this world that know how to do this and can do it. But they're not really going to waste their time with trying to bust through every freaking secure, string just to get into your account. Especially if you're not somebody of importance. They don't really care. But the ones that just want like credit card information, debit card information, things like that, they'll do this type of tactic. They'll phish. They'll send you that message. They'll make you believe that they're an iOS representative or Apple representative. They need you to log in. They'll have a hyperlink, and that's how they'll get in. That's not really doing any type of like brute force attack or anything like that to get into your shit. That's just them making you slip up and give it to them. I don't even call that Game Boy level hacking. That's just very, very minimal. But it still falls under user error. It still falls under you clicking that hyperlink in that text message and then signing into your Apple account not realizing that they're watching. They're getting every keystroke. They're taking it down, and now they have access to your Apple account. And the same thing with Android. When you're playing a game, and this the reason why I mentioned gaming on Android as the method of installing malware is because that seems to be the number one thing that gets malware onto an Android device. Somebody that wants to cheat on Candy Crush, they want to freaking cheat on Swamp Attack or whatever other game there is out there. They want a modded, game, and so they Google search it. And they're like, whatever the name of the game is, and then they add the word mod, MOD, space APK, and they sideload install this stuff, right? Like you'll find one that's like Candy Crush Unlimited Lollipop Buster, whatever thingy, and you have that, so they install that just to play the game, just to cheat to the game, like. And little do they know that with that app that they installed with the modded game came other things in the source of that APK file. Also came with malware attached to it, which is malicious software. And now you've installed that. Now you've installed the malware on your device. There are really good malware today that's nearly undetectable. There is good malware that can keep boring itself through your software and hiding itself. There's good malware that can mask itself. Like it can mask itself within your banking app, or it can mask itself within your social account, your Facebook account, your Instagram, your X account. It can hide. It can hide very well that antivirus software can't find it. There's good ones that, like I said, they bore their way through or drill their way through your software, and they cover up their own trail. So antivirus software can't even find and trail it and find it. Because as it's and yes, I know you're probably thinking to yourself, like, how does it drill into software? Like it's terminologies. Because of the way that it's behaving, it's identified in that way. It's described in that way, right? There's malware that drills, basically moves itself around the software, and there's no trail. There's no paper trail. Antivirus can't find it because there's no trail behind. Like there's nothing to find, so it can't trace it. Can't find it. Like it would have to stumble onto it with dog luck to literally find it. And that's the insecurity. That's the security issues with Android. And it's always user error. Okay, natively from Android in itself, no. You have your password, you have your PIN, you have your biometrics. You also have an authenticator app that you can use to secure your account, and that's adding levels of protection onto your Google account. So no, it's not like Apple and Google is standing out in a snowstorm, and Apple's got a freaking wetsuit, a poncho, and an umbrella, and Google's just shivering with just an umbrella over it. It's nothing like that when it comes to security. It has to do with the levels of things that you put on and your diligence of protecting your info. Not trusting every text message that comes through. So yeah, if you get a text message and they say that they're an Apple representative and that there's an issue with your Apple account, yada, 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 you don't even have to. So one would say, well, how would I know if they're an Apple rep or not? Like, how do I know if the message is real or not? Well, if you get that message, you can always contact Apple support. Like, don't click on the hyperlink and sign into your Apple account to chat with anyone. Don't even do the chat process. Do the old school method. Call in the 800 Apple support number. Go through its IVR. Get you to the right representative, and then tell them, hey, I got a text message from someone that's claiming to be an Apple representative, and they want me to sign in and fix an issue. I have a link here. So I just figured I'd call you and find out what the issue is. Maybe you can tell me what's going on with my Apple account. And they'll go from there. And you'll probably find out that it's not even real, and that's not even a real message. And the Apple support rep will probably know about this issue, so they'll probably tell you exactly what to do to get rid of the message without accidentally making yourself vulnerable to them. The support people are there for a reason. Utilize them. Okay? Don't get mad if it takes 15 minutes to get a rep on the phone. There's thousands and thousands and thousands of customers calling in. I've worked in call centers. There's always people calling in. This is why call center reps have a job. If there weren't that many people calling in for help, literally they can run and operate a call center with only 5 people, because it would be like 1 or 2 calls a day or some shit like that. But it's not. Everybody's got a question and everyone's got an issue and everyone needs help. So there's always calls. On an average in a day, in an 8-hour shift, I've taken 327 calls in one day for customers that needed help. Activations, bill explanations, cancellations, upgrading, you name it. I've done it all. And retention. 327 calls in one day. So that'll tell you. And that's just one rep. All right. My call center had 512 people working in there. That was call center agents. That's not including the supervisors, the team leads, operations manager, site director. None of those guys are counted. So with that being said, always protect yourself. Always. Moving away from that. So let me check the poll real quick and see how many people actually answered it. I'll leave the poll running and I'll check back at the end of the podcast. Let's see. Okay, I'll leave the poll running. Oh, that's the music. It was the background music that was throwing static. Sorry. These weird tracks that Restream has. Some of them, like, even I was like paying attention for a second, like, wait a minute, is there, like, I thought one of my phones was causing interference with the microphone, and I realized it was a song. So yeah, it was a song. Nonetheless, I'm talking more Pixel 8a in this next segment. And the reason why I'm doing that, I do get a fair amount of questions about my Pixel 8a and my experience with it so far. And it's like, I am trying to find things wrong with my Pixel 8a, believe it or not. I'm absolutely trying to. But that's coming up short. And it's coming up short. I mean, I don't know. I live in probably one of the hottest cities in the United States of America. And I don't mean that it's hot in the sense like it's the best place to live. I mean, it's fucking hot outside. It's 112 degrees. And I go outside with my phone, and yes, my phone does warm up. Obviously, when it's 116, 117, this is going to warm up outside no matter what. There's no getting around that. But indoor, it's fine temperature-wise. It's fine. But a Pixel 8a is a device that I'm actually happy that I was able to get my hands on. And I actually didn't get my hands on it. My kids and my wife bought it for me for a Father's Day gift. And, I was shocked and surprised that they even did that. The fact is that if this device is truly supported for the next 7 years, it's going to be something that's probably going to be my main device for a long time. Like, to be honest, for a long time. Not blowing smoke up Google's ass. I can give a shit about Google right now. But it's just me personally. Like, when you buy a phone that you are absolutely 100% happy with, it's like the greatest thing in the world because you know that your money went and you did good. Like, you don't feel like you got took by a shyster or anything like that. Like, you're super happy. And in this case, it was gifted to me. And so I know that my kids and my wife, they'll feel really good seeing that I'm really happy with what they got me. And, I'm forever grateful for that. Especially, they got me the Pixel 8a in a time where my Pixel 7 screen crapped out on me. So I still have to take that to get replaced once I have a little extra money to do that. So, yeah. I've been using it. I still use it. It's been used every day. I don't really find a lot of faults with it. Like, first of all, let me just say this. Those people that's complaining about bezels on the screen. Okay, bezels. All right, you can see the bezels. For me, I don't care about the bezels. I'm not looking at them when I'm using my phone. I'm looking at whatever I'm doing, whether it's, reading the X feed or reading the Threads feed or reading Facebook feed or watching a video. I'm not looking at the border of the phone. My eye's not always consistently turning to the left, turning to the right, looking at the damn border. So when people take to social media and try to bash me because someone tells me, am I sick of the bezels yet? And I tell them, no, it doesn't bother me. And it's like, oh my God, it doesn't bother Tito, so shit. Flame on! Like, they turn into the Human Torch from the Fantastic Four. Like, what the fuck? I'm not bothered by it. You may be bothered by it, so don't buy a phone with bezels at all whatsoever. Like, buy a glass sheet. Get you a nice piece of glass and take it to a company and have them install all the necessary components needed to having a smartphone. And you won't have a bezel at all. You'll have a clear sheet of glass and you could enjoy the no bezels at all and the ghost fucking touches that you're going to have. And yes, with no bezels, you're going to have a lot more ghost touches. Believe it or not, we don't have the technology yet that's advanced to kind of understand that that was a ghost touch and not an actual command. We're getting there with AI evolving. We're getting there. I wouldn't put it past me if Google's currently working on display technology with their AI that can understand if you are tapping the screen to interact with what you're seeing, or if it was an accidental touch and that's not what you want done. So don't do it. Like if you accidentally swipe from the middle of the screen to the left and it was an accident, you really weren't trying to go back. So then the screen does nothing. It won't go back at all. Not at all, because it understands the ghost touch. Wouldn't surprise me if they're coming up with technology like that. It wouldn't at all. But as of right now, we don't have something like that in place. So yes, everything that you do on your display, you can accidentally ghost touch. Like this part just below my thumb is fat. It needs to lose weight. Because when I'm on my phone and if I reach across, I can ghost touch with you saw it. I can ghost touch. I'm not intending to do that, but it does it. I'm just trying to reach across the screen with my thumb. That would have been easier to replicate with something that had a smaller bezel. Why? Because there's more screen to the edge for me to ghost touch. See, those are some of the things that I look at when judging a device and everything like that. So bezels is not a problem for me. I'm not bothered by it. Okay. If it's bezels like what I have on my iPad, like a big 3-inch to 4-inch, thick bezel all the way around, yeah, I can understand people getting a little upset with that because technology's grown. We've gotten more screen to body ratio. So yeah, you can be like, well, those are really big bezels on it. On a tablet, I still think that big bezels are welcome. That's my opinion on tablets, because you hold your tablet when you're in bed at night trying to unwind. Maybe you want to watch a little bit of Netflix, Tubi TV, Hulu, whatever you're doing. Maybe you want to read some news. Those bezels are a great resting point. I hate holding a tablet and having to hold it nearly like this just so I don't accidentally touch anything and I can read what I'm reading and look at what I'm looking, and then I get the dreaded head pop or the false alarm. If you don't know what that is, that's when you're holding it with as minimum of your fingers as possible because you don't want to distort the display, and it slips out of your hand and pops you right in the forehead and wakes you up. So on bezels on a tablet, I welcome it. I do not want a 91% screen to body ratio fucking tablet. I don't. I honestly don't. That sucks. I mean, the only other way to hold a giant tablet, like a 10-inch tablet without touching the screen with very thin bezels, is to do this. Brace the bottom with your fingers and stuff and try to clamp it down by putting your hands together. Eventually your arms get tired of pushing inward to hold the tablet in hand. And then what? Then you're like SOL when that thing slips backwards, slips forward, and pops you in the head. You could be like ready to go to sleep, and then pow, you're fucking waking up now because that damn thing dropped on your face. So tablets, bezels, I welcome them. It's a place to rest your thumb, to comfortably hold the damn thing, to rest your thumb, so you're golden. Not everybody goes and gets one of those attachable keyboards, that can prop up as a stand and make it into a laptop. No. And it's kind of like silly when you have like a big tablet and you have a case on it that has a little strap. The strap comes in handy when you're walking outside, you're walking out and about. But when you're laying in bed, you slide your hand to that strap, and then now you're using your whole arm as like a monopod to hold the tablet up. Just simply hold it like it's a book. That's what I say. But yeah, bezels on the Pixel 8a don't bother me at all whatsoever. And on tablets, bezels definitely don't bother me. Now, I'm not a heavy gamer on any of my smartphones. I don't play Call of Duty. I don't play any of that stuff. The most I play is, lately it's been Ninjas Must Die, Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links, and Pokemon Go. And those are like not very, very power demanding games, right? They don't really sap up a lot of the Tensor G3's processes and overwork the thing at all whatsoever. So the gaming on here, to me, seems to be fine. I have no problem with it. The battery on this will probably be something that I would say is a little mediocre right now. Maybe it'll get improved with Android 15, but for right now, it's a little mediocre. What I mean by that is, if I'm using it the way that I'm using it right now, just phone, all in itself, just phone, I get some pretty good battery life. I've posted on X screenshots of my battery life with the Pixel 8a, and you know, 6 hours and 39 minutes of on screen time, and I'm only down to like 37 or 32% battery. That's pretty good. Where this tends to start losing a lot of battery is when I have my Pixel Watch connected to it. So if I'm using my Pixel Watch, if I take my Pixel Watch out and I have it because I don't want to be really disturbed so I can get all my messages on my Pixel Watch, the battery will start depleting a lot faster. If I'm pairing my Tozo T6s, my new favorite earbuds, listening to music, kill the battery faster. So there are things that I feel like that, maybe, oh geez, who are they barking at now? Y'all hear my German Shepherd? First time in a while that, I got on the live stream barking. Well, that's my chihuahua that's going off mostly, but I don't see anybody out there. Someone must have walked by. Anyways, so the battery life on this is pretty decent. I think it could get better with Android 15. Hopefully it does get better. Now, I do have some worries about my Pixel 8a when it comes to 7 years of support. And that is the hardware in here capable of being supported for 7 years? Or is it going to get like the full, updates for like the first 3 years, like it's been doing? And then after that, the last 4 software updates, it's like minimal, right? Like majority of what the new Android software is capable of won't be compatible with this. So it'll be a very stripped down, kind of like going from full-fledged Android to what was it? Was it Android 1? No, Android 1 was for international usage. There was another light version of Android. I forgot what they called it. But anyways, making an Android Lite basically. Google Lite. Very light supported. That's one of the things that came to my mind, because I'm like, I was one of the people that got really excited, like 7 years of software support on the Pixel 8 and the Pixel 8 Pro and the Pixel 8a. And then over time, I'm like, 7 years, that's going to, that's going to Android 21. So Android 21 will be its final software upgrade. Then I was like, but what would Android 21 bring on a Pixel 8a? I started thinking, the Tensor G3, 7 years from that, it'll be on the Tensor G10, and we don't even know what kinds of, features and AI advancements would they have made then. So how bad will this be by the time that Android 21 rolls out? Will I even want to deal with this then? That's a big question. Will I even really want to deal with this around that time? Because the hardware is old. You can always update software. That's how I'm keeping my Pixel 5, alive. When Evolution X Android 15 base custom ROM comes out, if they make one, I will flash that onto my Pixel 5 and continue its lifespan. If Evolution X stops supporting the Pixel 5, but say Lineage OS does, or any of the other custom ROMs like CR Droid does, then I'm gonna flash that custom ROM onto my Pixel 5 and continue its support with Android 15, 16. It'll probably won't even get 17. They'll definitely stop support there. So, but yeah, I'm just like, the one thing you can't do is upgrade the hardware. I mean, if you want to do it yourself, and if you're capable, like, if I really wanted to, I probably could take all the best things of, like, the Google Pixel 12, the Google Pixel 13, and put it in here. But that takes a lot of time and development, right? That's like taking, the motherboard and putting it in here. That's, making sure the processor chips in here. Let's make sure everything works itself out and reclosing the case of the phone around its internal components and making sure that all of it works properly. There's probably certain technology in the future that the display needs, is required to be in order for certain things to interact with it, that this older display won't be able to power on. And if it doesn't power on, I'm gonna have to try and find a display identical to its dimensions to be able to install it onto my device. And that's a Frankenstein of a phone, and nobody really wants to go through that. I mean, I would do it. That's me. But then what? I wouldn't, I could start a business that way, but I would have to find like-minded people that's willing to work on these phones and modernize them. I mean, there's people that's already doing it right now with iPhones. I don't know if anyone knows this, but you can modernize your iPhone 7, your iPhone 8. You can modernize it with today's body style. They have aftermarket housings for the iPhone 7, the iPhone 6S, the iPhone 6, the iPhone 8. And it literally brings it into this box design. But it's an iPhone 7, right? It's got the single camera module on the back, and you put your own screen with your Touch ID in the front of it. But and I was thinking to myself, like, you can get an iPhone 7 and do that and modernize the design of it and make it look like today's design slightly. You could also install a bigger battery because now there's more space for a much bigger battery. There's more space for it. What up, Isaac? And since there's much more space for it, means that you can have longer life on an iPhone 7. And believe you me, I like the iPhone 7. I really like that phone. That's probably one of the caveats that I can't use it right now, is because I really do need to get a battery replacement done on it. The iPhone 7, it's legit at this point. I can't even take it out the house and use it. I think the battery health on it is at 68% or 69%. It's not lasting long. The moment I leave my house, maybe like 30 minutes later, and it's down to freaking 30%, and then it shuts off at 30%. So battery is really depleted on it. I really like the phone. So if I got one of those housings for it and moved everything over to that new housing, I could probably get an aftermarket larger battery for it. But to go through all that right now, it's not even realistic for me. If I had the extra play money is what I call it, to do that, then I would do that. So yeah, that's my worry with my Pixel 8a, is like, yes, it is said to be supported for 7 years along with the 8 and the 8 Pro, but will the hardware stand up to the future of Android? Will Android 21 require such power that the Tensor G3 wouldn't be able to handle it? And the GPU, the cameras, the screen technology would not be able to handle it, that what we're going to end up getting is a very light version of Android 21, which really isn't worth it. Or the battery, send me the phone and the battery, I'll replace it for you. I got you, dude. I got you. I'll message you about it. Because I might buy the housing. If I'm gonna have the battery replaced, I might as well change the entire housing. That'd be pretty cool. Then maybe I'll do both my iPhone 7s and do a giveaway on the second one. If I jailbroke the thing, I probably could get iOS 17 on it, but I doubt it. But yeah, so while we do get longevity, I don't think the hardware is going to hold up for it. Realistically, I don't think the hardware is going to hold up for it. I think honestly, like, we'll get the best of the cool features of Android for like Android 15 and then Android 16 and maybe Android 17. I think Android 17, after it, everything is just going to be minor spec bumps, right? Because they said that they would support it for 7 years. They never said that they would give it everything that the future Pixels will get. They just said I'll support it. Support it could be like, okay, a couple of security patches, and we'll change the name of it and part of the coding, and it's Android 16 now, it's Android 17 now, or it's Android 18 now. They could do that, right? Maybe Android 21 supports holographic calls like in Star Wars, where your phone can actually project a hologram image of the person you're talking to. This won't be able to do that. I guarantee if they brought something like that to us, first of all, I would lose my damn mind, because that'd be so cool. But at the same time, too, I'd be like, well, my Pixel 8a can't do it. So while I am content with my Pixel 8a, and for right now in the foreseeable future, I have no desire to upgrade, doesn't mean that I won't upgrade. I think people got to understand that. I don't have the desire right now to upgrade. Like the Pixel 9 is coming out next month, or is being unveiled next month. It could come out in September. I have no desire to get it. And it's not has nothing to do with the camera bar or anything like that. It's just I have this. I have the Pixel 8a, and I'm more of a fan of the Pixel A series than the actual flagships. Like the fact that there's rumors going around that the Pixel 8a may be the absolute last of the A series, and that Google intends to go forward with this 3-device release, a base model, a Pro model, a Pro XL model. It has me wondering why. I know that people have bashed the hell out of the Pixel 8a. They've bashed the hell out of the Pixel 7a. Why do these things even exist? They're only $100 cheaper than the base models. Just get the base models. Just get the base models. I mean, it's true. Yeah. You know, when you look at it from that point, yeah, you kind of see it. Like, it's only $100 difference. But then I think the biggest thing that people forget about is people's wallets. People's wallets aren't identical. There are some people that are just getting by on the money that they make from the job that they're doing, and they're living okay and slightly comfortable, right? They wouldn't consider themselves comfortable, but they're almost there. Like they're kind of there. Like they're not really worried about their bills every month because they have adequate funds to pay it. But at the same time too, they can't just be stupid with their money. But you also have people that live check to check, and like literally their bills altogether are more than what they're bringing in a month. And so they're doing some fantastic backflips and maneuvering just to stretch a dollar and make ends meet. So we forget about people's wallets. So we pass these assumptions and say, hey, you know what? Just spend $100 more and get the Pixel 8. Spend $100 more and get the Pixel 7, but maybe that $100 is groceries. Some people put $50 aside every paycheck until they have enough, and they'll go for this. They'll buy this because it gives nearly the exact same experience as the Pixel 8. The only difference is that this is plastic, not glass, and the 8 is made of glass. On the flip side, there's people that are very sketchy about glass-made phones. They don't want to break a phone. They don't want to crack. They don't want to walk around. I mean, come on now. I'll be honest with you guys. I don't mind having a screen protector on my iPhone 12. All right, but the screen is cracked. You see that now? Okay, that's kind of ugly to look at times. And if I didn't have my screen protector and I felt every one of those cracks, it would freaking drive me bonkers. I have a screen protector over it just to protect accidental, moisture from getting into the screen and damaging it until I can replace it. Nobody wants that on the back of their phone. So some people may just prefer to go with a plastic built phone. It kind of feels like glass. It really does. It feels like it's a frosted glass. And as you guys can see, I'm rocking it without a case. That's one thing I really actually like. And that's subjective. That's me personally. Personally, I'd rather use my phone without a case on it. That's just me. I mean, I have cases for my Pixel 8a. I have cases for my iPhone 12. If I'm going hiking and stuff like that, I'm putting a case on it. If I'm at home, in the leisure of my home, I'm not going to walk around with a bulky case on it. So it's without a case. So there is a reason for its existence. There's a reason for its existence, and I don't want to see it go away. And I sometimes just like I see what people are saying. I see other videos from different other content creators like Tech Odyssey and all them. Yes, I said their name. Well, I said his name. There's like a whole bunch of them. And they questioned the existence of the Pixel A series, and I'm like, you guys questioned the existence of the A series, and you push this idea because I'm sorry to say it, but there are people who hang on the words of every creator that they're subscribed to. A subscriber says the sky is purple, and they'll say the sky is purple not because they see it's purple, but because they want to agree with that creator, because they want to show as much support to that creator as possible, even eating up the bullshit that's spewed sometimes. And that includes me. I spew some bullshit too. Okay, I'm not keeping myself out of the ring. Okay, I'm in that circle with the other creators. So people will hang on every word. And so if you got a creator that's like, the A series shouldn't even exist. Now you got like a lot of people that's going to say the A series that don't exist. And when companies get wind of this as feedback, then to them it's just like, why are we wasting our time? I don't want them to kill the A series. I don't want them to make the A series identical to the base model. Like, don't give me a Pixel 8a and make it out of glass and everything, and that the only difference between this and the 8 would be the size of the phone. 6.1 inch display versus 6.3 inch display. Like, don't give me something like that. That's a stupid thing to do, in my opinion. There's everything else about my 8A. I can guarantee putting side by side with the Pixel 8 and the experience and everything is going to be identical. It's no longer a question of that, right? But the Pixel 5a and previous A series devices, they were using Qualcomm mid-range chips, low-end chips, right? The 600 series, the 700 series is what they were using. They weren't using the 800 series. This uses the Tensor G3, the same chip that you find in the Pixel 8. My 7a, it uses the G2, the same that's found in the Pixel 7. And I had both the Pixel 7 and 7a and compared them side by side, and they're identical in everything except for the body build of the phone. People are like, oh, it's got a slower wireless charge. At least it can wirelessly charge. At least you can put it on a wireless charger if you're going to sleep at night and it charges slow. Yes, so let it slow charge. If you're going to bed and you're putting it on a wireless charger, why do you need it to charge so fast? If you're going to sleep 8 hours, then let the thing take 3 hours to charge. Who cares? It can wireless charge, and it has fast wireless charging. Yeah, it's 18 watts. 18 watts is still good. I still put my phone on a charger, and before I leave to go anywhere, I'm topped up. I'm good to go. We could, like right now, my wife could be like, hey, we're going to go to Lake Pleasant and go swim at the lake. She can say that right now and tell everyone to get ready. My battery could be at 30%. I'll put it on a charger right now. It's like 3:38 p.m. We could be ready to go at like 4:21, and it'll be at 100%. Ready to go. Almost an hour. And I'm busy getting ready and getting the cooler ready, getting drinks together, making sandwiches for snacks, getting, some apples, some, dried mango and stuff like that to snack on while we're at the lake. Pack up the car, get everything ready, and then head out. Which was actually pretty cool. Side note, I did go to Lake Pleasant yesterday. It was kind of spontaneous. My wife and I, side note, we were doing Amazon Flex deliveries in the morning. That's what we make a little extra cash with, for like groceries and stuff like that. And we had to deliver a package to somebody that was camping at Lake Pleasant. I guess they're here for the summer, and so they ordered something from Amazon. So we brought it in. Normally you have to pay like $7 to get into the national park, but of course we were doing a delivery. So the lady was like, oh, okay. She's like, you know how to get to the campgrounds, and she kind of like told us where to go. And so we're driving through the national park, and we see the lake, and we see the campgrounds where all the RVs are parked at and everything. So we find the RV we're supposed to deliver the box to. It was the last one on our list of packages to deliver, right? We had 35 packages to deliver. So last one. So my wife's like, oh, it'd be cool if we went for a dip. It was hot, right? It was like 10 in the morning. It was already 108 degrees outside. So I was like, yeah, why not? The lady can't see us from where she's at. So we pulled over to the beachside area, got out, and walked to the lake shoreline, got in the water, and went for a swim for like half an hour. I posted it on Instagram. I was having a good time. I was like, oh God, the water was like nice and cold. It was great. I felt bad though, because like I didn't have my kids with me. I don't take my kids to do Amazon deliveries at 3:00 in the morning. So, but my son's birthday is coming up at the end of the month, and that's what we're gonna do. Is we're gonna pack up the SUV, and we're gonna head out to Lake Pleasant and spend the day at Lake Pleasant for his birthday, and go swimming, jet skiing, and all kinds of cool stuff. There's like a kayak rental. I'm gonna take him kayaking across the lake. Really, really big lake. Very nice. And I think nearby there's a motel. So I'm going to rent the motel like a staycation. So we're not going to head back home after, the day at the lake. We're going to head to the hotel, probably order his favorite pizza, and connect my Chromebook to the TV in the motel and watch movies with him. his favorite movies. Well, more than likely, all of us will just be bundled up in that motel room and passed out because we'll be too tired from swimming on a lake. I don't even think we'll make it through a movie. But yeah, Lake Pleasant's actually pretty cool. I enjoyed it. I'll share a picture with you guys. I was like, I'm so dorky because I'm so happy to be on the lake. It gets really hot here, but I'll show you guys a picture. Where's that? Oh, it's deleted off my stories. What the hell? Well, I don't have a picture of me in the water. It was in my stories. I can probably grab it from the history of my stories and download it. But yeah, I was happy to be at the lake. I was happy to be at the lake, and it was free. So, yeah, other than that, I mean, the photos that I take from it are great. Actually, I took that selfie from it, and I thought I did pretty good. There was like, well, I mean, I do got pictures of the lake itself. And like, actually, I can show you guys the area that I want to take my son for his birthday, because there's like an area where there's like an obstacle course. So it has that. It's buoyed off, so like, you know, water wildlife can't get in there. But I mean, yeah, you can run that little obstacle course. It's kind of fun and cool. Swim in the water. That's where I'm gonna take him for, you know, his birthday. It's a fun place. And it's only like 30 minutes away from where I live. I thought it was a lot further. Saguaro Lake is further. It's like an hour away. This is only 30 minutes away, and it's a pretty big lake. So, but yeah, the photos that I took from the Pixel 8a, awesome. Videos that I take, obviously, they're decent enough. No one really complains about the videos that I make and put on YouTube as far as the video quality. And those are taken from my Google Pixels. Some of them from my iPhone. Majority of them from my Google Pixels, whether it's the 5A, the 5, the 6A, the 6, 7A, 8A. Yeah. All right, switching tracks a little bit and just kind of like, you know, getting in, because one of the questions I get quite a bit of has to do with Helium and the crypto side of it. Like, how does it work? What do you do, etc. Well, I mean, I am going to make an individual video talking about it, but I'm going to talk about it in the live stream. So let me get into the app and get into my feed. So that is my feed. That tells me how I'm actively mapping. All you got to do is just map 40 hexes is what it says, right? So I have 37 hexes to go in order for me to reach my 40. The average payout is like 473 point whatever in Helium tokens, right? You earn that just from mapping. That's like basically walking a Walmart or walking a grocery store, the length of that grocery store, and you earn that for the day. So let's kind of look at it in value right now. Right now in my wallet, I have 3,459.228713 in tokens. That's how much that I have in tokens, okay? And it's US dollar amount, that's equivalent to $5.08. Now, before the end of July is up, I'll have enough to basically cover my bill, which is $20 a month. Right now that I have not claimed, I have not cashed in on it, I have 5,342 tokens that I've earned and that I'm going to cash out here soon. So that'll put me over 10. So another week of mapping will put me at about $20. Once I reach that $20 mark, I can hit to prepay. So really all they're doing is, and what you're doing is that you have mapping turned on. And like it tells you right here, By sharing your location, you enable a better, more efficient Helium network and can earn mobile rewards in the process. Tells you important info. When prompted, allow Helium mobile access to your location while using the app, then allow always. Helium uses your fitness and motion activity to save on battery while mapping. So that's how it doesn't kill the battery so quickly. But also, it doesn't map when it's still. Like you have to move consistently beyond 15 meters for the mapping to kick on and to take the data of when you first started moving up until when you stop to record that movement and to map the area if there's indoor hotspots, outdoor hotspots, if it's T-Mobile network reliant only, those types of things. So for those that like wonder, like if you're mapping, does it kill your battery fast? No, it doesn't. It used to, but now it doesn't. And it used to actively map quite a bit. But once it reaches that, what it calls the 40 hexes, the hex zones, hexagon tiles on the map, once it reaches 40 of those successfully mapped, it stops. The mapping turns off because you've already reached your goal. There's no more mapping you can do because there's a limitation on how much you can earn a day. And depending on your area, some areas it fluctuates. Some areas people earn more. I've seen people say that, in one day they've earned like 700 tokens. Others have said in other days they've earned 800. I earned 400. I live in a major city. There's a lot more Helium customers here than just myself, and they're actively mapping too. And the reason why people are actively mapping is because they don't really want to pay a phone bill. This is one of the key takeaways. Like you can have Helium mobile service as a burner line. And if you're carrying two phones on you and you're carrying that one in your pocket and it's mapping, you're earning money to pay your phone bill. I know there's other active, Helium gurus on YouTube that talk about, the hotspots that they've set up to earn additional crypto. There's those that have built out CBRS radios to deploy signal for Helium, right? They're their own little at-home MacGyver style tower setup. There's a lot of them. You can check out their YouTube channels. They explain a lot of the crypto side of Helium. But me, it's on a layman's term level, it's simple. You map, you earn. You buy the hotspot, you connect it to your, to your home Wi-Fi. You have it send out a signal on a separate channel, separately away from your home Wi-Fi signal. You earn from Helium mobile customers connecting to it. Per line, you can earn as much as $20 a day per line. $20 times 1,000. Say like there's a nearby business and there's like 1,000 people in that vicinity that's connected to your hotspot on Helium mobile. You do the math. That's some pretty good passive income. That's additional money that you could be making on the side just to kind of help out with, your life expenses or just, for your family fun. You can put your paychecks towards your life expenses and use that passive income for all the fun stuff like movies, out to dinner, taking the kids, somewhere. Maybe you don't have kids, taking the wife out or the girlfriend out. There is a lot of things that you can do with Helium Mobile. For me, I may eventually get an indoor hotspot and deploy it right here in my room. Outdoor hotspot, probably not, because I'm not going to permanently be living here. So I don't want to set up an outdoor hotspot and deploy signal. I do live in a very busy area. Okay. The the traffic around here and everything is pretty busy. So I could, but then again, I would tell people like, an outdoor hotspot would be great to set up at your job, at your business location, right? If you own a shop or something like that, you could deploy an indoor and outdoor hotspot and make some money off of it. People that use Helium mobile service and is walking by and connecting to it, and you're going to earn off of it. And you can do the same thing. You can, if you have phone service with Helium, you can pay your phone bill with those earnings, or you could cash out for money. You can use it to buy more hardware, like more hotspot hardware. There's people that have maybe 3 or 4 active outdoor hotspots and 10 indoor hotspots. They have them set up all over my city, and they're actively making money on it. It's not just like you're buying. You can only have one indoor and one outdoor. You can buy more indoor hotspots. You can buy more outdoor hotspots, and you can deploy them across your city if you have connections. I have seen content creators on how they turn this into like, a small business for them. They will go to other shops and they will ask them to set up an outdoor hotspot on their property. They will pay the person like $50 a month access to the company Wi-Fi. Can you imagine how many mom and pop stores that's like they have Wi-Fi in their shop and they pay maybe like 50, 60, $100 a month? You got some random person that's legit going in there, setting up an indoor and outdoor hotspot and paying them $50 to $100 a month. That's a person paying for their Wi-Fi bill. They don't even have to pay a Wi-Fi bill in their shop anymore. Now they can focus on other things. And it's quid pro quo. One hand washes the other, right? That guy pays them a $50 to $100 to set up his hotspots for Helium Mobile, and he gets paid for the traffic of Helium Mobile customers passing by there every day. Helium hotspots probably helps in areas that are bad spots for T-Mobile native. Maybe in the future, Helium may allow T-Mobile to roam on their hotspots for a reasonable fee. It's a possibility. And yeah, well, I mean, that is one thing. It helps in areas where T-Mobile does not have the best coverage. If someone has a hotspot there, they're going to make a killing because people are going to like actively connect to their hotspot rather than T-Mobile's network. But that is the other reason why that Helium Mobile is only $20 a month. They're only $20 a month because their idea is to be more dependent on their peer-to-peer Helium network than T-Mobile's network. They want to offload customer data usage off of the T-Mobile network and onto a peer-to-peer network. And so that's why they encourage people to check out the hotspots, see how they work, and see if it's something for you. And so you could take those hotspots and make a business out of it if you have a gift of gab, if you know people that have business shops and everything like that, and you know that they're willing to listen and play ball. You can have more than one outdoor hotspot, more than one indoor hotspot. You just have to be able to sell it like a business. That's what I would say. If you're going to actually get involved in the Helium hotspots, treat it as a business and you can get far with it. I've actually been thinking about it, but because I'm not going to live in Phoenix very long, that's the only reason I haven't started. Now, if I was permanently going to live in this city, I would invest. I would buy one outdoor hotspot, one indoor hotspot. I got a perfect place to set it up because there's not one there. In the Helium hotspot app, it shows you the best place to set up your hotspot devices. And in this certain area that I know of, I'm not going to say it because I don't want no one to beat me to it, but there has been a lot of good Helium traffic through there, but there's no hotspot for any Helium customers to connect to, so they're all dependent on T-Mobile's network. I can set up a hotspot and start earning. What I would do is with those earnings, I would build it up till I have enough to buy another hotspot for outdoor and another hotspot for indoor. Order those. When those come in, I would start going to places that I know of. I would hit downtown and hit that area up. I have a friend's shop that's near the ASU campus. That's where I would hit up. I would have another friend that's got a business near the ASU campus in Tempe, Arizona. That's where I'm going to hit him up and pay him $100 a month to set up my hotspots in his shop. That's college campus, and there's a huge amount of Helium customer traffic in those areas that I've checked out. And that would be like the best place for me to set up and deploy. Problem is that I won't be here very long. So there's no reason for me to invest in it right now. That I'm giving free out to whoever has Helium, is thinking about getting into the hotspot and lives here in Phoenix area. You might want to start looking at some local businesses around there and talking to them about setting up an indoor and an outdoor hotspot and set that up in their shop. You'll make a killing for sure. Now, the only caveat to earning tokens with Helium Mobile that I want people to understand is that the value of the token goes up and down. So while I showed you guys that the amount that I have currently in my wallet is equivalent to $5.08, that's how much its value is now. That could drop here in the next 15 minutes. It can go down to $4.95, or it can go up to $4.50. You have to watch it closely when you're going to prepay. This is why I don't prepay like right away. Like once I have earned enough, and it tells me that I've earned, like $22, because basically my bill's like $21.61 total. That's with the taxes and fees included. If it tells me I've earned $22, I don't pay right away. I wait, because I don't want to pay it, and the value of my coins was $22. And then after I got prepaid my bill, then an hour later, it jumped significantly. And now what I have in my purse that was worth $22 is now worth $50. You know what I mean? Hypothetically speaking, it ain't going to raise that high that fast. So that's where, like I kind of wait. It's a game of chance. That's my method when it comes to it. But at the end of the day, majority of the earnings that I get from Helium Mobile, I use it so I don't pay a phone bill. That's one phone bill I don't have to worry about every month. I know Chanel 808, Hawaii Life, you're going to give me, the whole scoldings, and you should save your tokens up and build it up and cash out when, it's worth a lot of money. Like, look, I cash out to pay my bill. I still have leftover balance. I still have a leftover balance of, of tokens that I could cash out for, cash value. But I'm not going to cash out for $5 or $10. Like, no. So it's in there. It's still invested in there. I can invest my own money in there. I can buy Helium coins. I can buy them if I want to. And I think my banking apps actually recognize Helium coins. And it is on a Solana blockchain. So it's hosted on Solana. So that was like a very big move for Helium. Like Helium, little by little, is making the moves. And I would say growing fairly. Golly, why is they always barking at every car driving by? I mean, yeah, I get what you're saying, Michael. You have options like OnePlus and whatnot, but that's if you're interested in OnePlus Motorola devices, I'm always gonna be a Pixel guy. Always. And the Pixel A series is always my favorite line of Pixels. So the flagships are like secondary. The A series is the ones I really, really, really like. Yeah, it really isn't worth much now as in crypto, right? So it's not worth as much. It's not comparable to Bitcoin or Ethereum or dark coins or Doge or in that sense. It hasn't been around as long as those have, right? To gain that value. But nonetheless, I mean, I don't know. I look at it like this. Like, there are people who find paper dollars more valuable than coins. There are people who will piggy bank save quarters, dimes, and nickels, but they don't give a shit about pennies. I'm the type of dude that I will pick up pennies from the ground. I don't care. I'll pick it up. I'll wash it. I'll take it home. I'll throw it in my piggy bank. Because my Coke piggy bank, when I have it filled up with pennies, it's equivalent to $20,000. So I can take that to the bank and have them count it out if I get it full. It's going to take me years to get it full. But when I finally get that Coca-Cola piggy bank bottle like full, I'm going to take it to the bank. And I'll promise you guys, I'll record video of me doing it. And I'll take it in there and cash it out for $20,000. I'll have them count all the pennies. Take it to the bank and be like, yeah, I want to transfer this. I want to convert this and then transfer it. But if you think about it, if you pick up a penny 5 times a day, multiply that by 365 days in a year, see how much money you've collected. So like Helium coins are not as high as in value, but that's not to say that they won't ever get high in value, right? When it comes to crypto, one of the biggest things is the amount of people invested in it. There's a lot of people invested into Bitcoin, which is why Bitcoin has a very high value. There's a lot of people that have invested their money in it, right? You got a lot of people that are making US dollars and then buying Bitcoin, which is basically converting their money into digital currency. And then it sits in the money market and it does its thing. There are different things that you can do with crypto as far as maximizing future profits. It's always a gamble. Yes, it is. because if that digital currency market crashes in value, well, then you lose money, obviously. It's just like investing in businesses and big corporations, right? You invest in Walmart, you invest in Apple or in Google, and I mean, there's so many people that invest in these companies already because they know the growth of everything like that. So you're not going to get like super high gains, but you got a good 95% chance of gains and losses with your investment. And that's what's happening here. This is why it's, this is kind of like, my goal, my mission. Like, I have a mission, I have a goal. It's a fun goal of mine. What I'm really trying to do is I'm really trying to, at one point, if I could in 1 month if I can get 2,500 people to sign up for Helium Mobile in 1 month, that's my goal. I'll be a happy camper. But it's more people invested in, it's more people that can earn, it's more people that can, have phone service that they don't even have to pay for. Right? Like those people that were utilizing my promo code, which is right there, that little QR code, you scan it and you can get a month free. But those that were cheating the system and using my promo code to get a month free, you don't even really have to do that. You can stick with your main email account you used to sign up and keep the same phone number you started with if you didn't port a number. And just turn on mapping and go about your day. And a week before your bill is due, however you've earned, cash it in. Pay your phone bill. And then it's a free month. I find the Helium community on the subreddit, it doesn't tolerate much criticism, which I guess makes sense since they have a financial stake in the company's success. I mean, yeah, people are people, especially today, right? I'm sorry to say it, but Gen Zers and everything like that, they kind of respond and behave a certain way that's very different to what I'm used to, right? Like I'm Gen Y technically. I mean, my sister's Gen X, right? She was born in 78. I was born in 82, so I'm considered a millennial. But being around my sister, being around people, her age throughout my entire life and everything, I guess like my mentality still gravitates towards Gen X. And, we handle things a certain way. We do things, differently. We carry ourselves a different way. And so it's really hard for me to understand today's mentality of things. A lot of people really get, and it's not even just, only because they have investments in the company in itself, but like there's people today that would go to war with you if you say anything bad about iPhone, right? You can say one bad thing about iPhone. Like earlier in the podcast, right, when I was talking about, Android security versus iOS security. By the way, the poll's still going. I haven't even checked to see how many people voted in the poll. We got 86% currently right now saying user error and 14% saying it's the software manufacturer's fault. But anyways, yeah, I said that it's user error. I put it out there that, like Apple, like Apple didn't free up anything. Like when most people are taken to social media, like on Reddit, and they're talking about iOS 18 and the freedom of iOS 18. You don't have freedom with iOS 18. All they did was give you something that is like a mask to make you feel like you have freedom. You still have to use the iPhone the way that they want you to. Just because you can put your icons where you want on the home screen and you can change it from light mode to dark mode, or you can tint all the app icons, doesn't mean you have the freedom that Android has, right? You still can't sideload apps onto an iPhone. They opened up to allow you to install game emulators because they were able to work that out with the app developers to do things the way that they want it done before hosted on the App Store. But you still don't have freedom on iOS. If you want absolute freedom on iOS, you have to jailbreak the iPhone. On Android, you don't have to jailbreak anything. You only do any type of rooting is if you want full master control of your Android device to install custom ROMs and things like that. But other than that, you still have freedom. You can still install third-party apps outside of the Play Store. And so when I say that, I know that there's some Apple users who will hate me for that, and they'll go to war with me for that. And it's like, why? It is the truth. I'm not saying that Apple is bad. I'm not saying it sucks. I'm not saying don't get an iPhone. I'm just laying out the facts. There's people that just can't handle it. So Reddit is a place that I read stuff to kind of get today's mentality of things. That's the only tool Reddit is to me. It's for me to understand today's generation and how they think about things. And so I read what they say. I don't comment what they say. I don't go to argue with them. I don't care if they feel that like, Android is for the entire world and Apple is, for one specific type of person. I don't care if they identify Android on a political side of this way and Apple on a political side of this way. I don't care about none of that stuff. They can argue that crap out to the end of the day. So they're blue in the face. I don't care. My thing is just to understand them. So when I do these podcasts or if I do a video talking about tech and I want to talk about it, I have an understanding of what people are doing and saying. Like right now, everyone's going bananas over the Galaxy Z Fold 6, the Galaxy Z6 Flip. Anyone getting that phone or getting any one of those phones? Someone comment if you're getting any of the new Galaxies and if you like the new Galaxies. I didn't wake up in time to live react to the event, but I guess we can talk about it right now to the opened end of it for like the next 15 minutes. No, like 23 minutes. I'll be ending this 4:30 p.m. my time. But is anyone interested in the Z Flip 6, Z Fold 6? And they could have called it anything else. The new Galaxy Watches, I'm sorry. The Galaxy Watch Ultra, like, come on. They could have gave us something else than going with the same thing that Apple did, Apple Watch Ultra. Pixel better not do that. On August 13th, if Google announces the Pixel Watch 3 and they say, and we also have now the Pixel Watch 3 Ultra, fuck you, Google. I will lose my mind. Like, why? Forget the damn Ultra name and the smartwatch. Called it something else. Literally, they could have called it something else. They didn't have to call it the Galaxy Watch Ultra. Like, oh my God. I mean, everyone's already claiming and yielding that the new Galaxy products emulate an iPhone pretty well, except for the foldable devices. But like the new earbuds, they say literally looks like, here they are. It looks like these. It looks like the AirPods. And it's like, yeah, I totally get it. It does look like the AirPods. So when you got the watch called, the Galaxy Watch Ultra, it's like they could have called it anything else. I mean, they got Galaxy in their name. They could have thought of something that was, in the astronomy realm to name it. No. But like I'm seeing a lot of the Z Flip 6, the Z Fold 6. They're great. I just don't advocate for something that's like close to $2,000 in value. I mean, has anyone noticed that I haven't advocated for the Pixel Fold? Like, have you ever seen me really talk a lot about the Pixel Fold? And I'm a Pixel guy. I haven't really talked much about the Pixel Fold. The reason why is because it's $1,800. I wouldn't ask and advise anyone to spend $1,800 on a mobile phone. I'm all about trying to help people save and get value. And so a $2,000 phone, like, no. Would I like to have one? Yeah, sure. If I could get a Pixel Fold, honestly, my max out purchase price for one of those things is going to be $500. So that probably won't be for another year before I find them on places for like, $450 or something like that, right? Because even right now, used on the market, there's people selling it for $1,200, for $900. I don't even want to pay that much. So, yeah, I'll eventually have a Pixel Fold. It'll probably be obsolete by the time I get it, but I'll have it to have it as part of my Pixel collection one day in my own office room. Because where I'm moving to, that the house that we're kind of looking at, I will have my own office studio room for podcasting and making videos. So I do plan to get me a glass case, some phone stands, and I will be putting my Pixels in that as a backdrop for you guys to see in the background. of every Pixel device that I've owned that is no longer. Of course, I have to take them apart and take the battery out because I don't want them exploding inside the case. Eventually, those lithium-ion batteries will wear and they will swell and they will go. And so to make sure, I'm going to remove the batteries out of them. So if anyone steals them, nice that they sold them for me because they won't work. But yeah, I do intend on having a case with pixels put in there for nostalgic purposes and for a backdrop when I go live. That's the plan. So like these, foldable devices are cool, right? Like the OnePlus Open, that's a pretty cool device for a foldable. And I see a lot of people talking really good things about the OnePlus Open. You also have like the Chinese models, right? From like Huawei, I think, or is it Xiaomi? I think they have a foldable Xiaomi phone. They have a foldable Poco phone. The foldables really kind of get out there, and even the rollable phone, right? The Motorola that has a screen that like is like flexible that rolls and it rolls upward to get more screen real estate when you need it. You have those. I mean, there's I think it's Xiaomi or Huawei that it's a foldable phone, but the display is on the outside, which I think is weird because if you bang that and it cracks, it's messed up. But you unfold it and the outer displays are the big display. There's no hinge on the outside of the screen, so the screen flexes around the fold. Pretty cool. I mean, there's so much of this foldable technology, and we're slowly getting into it. But you could tell that there's still a good amount of progression to go because you don't see any budget foldables. The closest device that we have out there that is considered a budget foldable device would be the Moto Razr Fold, right? Like this year we got the Moto Razr 2024, which is the budget version, and then we got the Moto Razr Plus 2024, which is the more higher mid-range, close to flagship version. I know because my wife wants the regular Razr 2024, the budget version. Since it's now got a bigger outer display, she wants that more than anything. So that's the device that she's switching to. She's going Motorola. But yeah, you don't see a lot of companies, like there's not a mid-range foldable yet that's like $350 for it or anything like that. We're not seeing that. But that's also because, devices are moving up in price. Like we're getting more and more. Like again, you look back when flagships were only like $500, $600. Now flagships are like over $1,000. Higher mid-rangers used to be $150 to $200. Now they're $400 for them. And you rarely see a lot of budget devices pushed. Like you'll see them on Boost Mobile's website. You'll see them on Metro's website, etc. You get your money off of that. That's pretty much it. But like everything's gone up in value. Everything's gone up, in money value. And so you won't see a foldable that's going to be $350. If they made a budget foldable, I'd probably be $700 for it. It's just still pricey. It's still pricey. I mean, I can't justify buying anything over $1,000 and saying I got over $1,000, on a brand new phone. Yet it costs me, I think it's like $93 to fill up my gas tank in my car. On my SUV, cost me $96 just to fill up. I try to never let that thing get below 3/4 tank. So it always costs me about, to top it up, when I get to 3/4 tank, it costs me like $26 to fill it back up to full. And my vehicle has altogether total, it's a 24-gallon tank. Because 2 gallons of it is like the emergency reserve. I don't know if anyone knows this, but when your gas gauge reaches empty and the light turns on, it's actually sapping into your reserve. You do have a reserve tank in your vehicle. It's only made to get you to the closest gas station so that way you can, fill up. It's not made for you to say, I can run another day without filling up gas. I have a friend that does that. My friend did that, and one day he actually ran out of gas, and I'm like, when did your gas light turn on? He was like 2 days ago. I'm like, yeah. And you didn't think it was going to run out of gas now? Ridiculous. But anyways, I am going to call it a day. There will be a video going more in depth with the Pixel 8a later on. Probably this weekend, the video will drop. I want to appreciate everyone for coming in and hanging out with me on Aloha Friday. It's Aloha Friday. No work till Monday. That song used to play on the radio every Friday in Hawaii. It's something that's just like, it's always in my head. Big shout out to my loving wife. She thinks she's going to go to lunch soon, so I'm going to end up video calling her to have lunch with her. It's something that me and my wife do. And yeah, so, if you're interested in trying Helium Mobile, right there, scan that QR code there at the bottom. There, yeah. Right there at the bottom. Scan the QR code. It'll get you started, get you signed up with Helium Mobile. You get your first month free on me. Use my code. And if you guys want to help out the channel with a small monetary donation, then the QR code right here, you guys can scan that. Any little bit helps. It's up to you guys. Biggest way you guys can help me literally is just smashing the like button, sharing this on other social platforms so more and more people can discover my podcast, my show, and come and watch. Really appreciate that. Shout out to those that watched on Twitch. Thank you guys for coming in. I am now simulcasting to both YouTube and Twitch, so I appreciate that. And again, like I said, help me get to my goal. Help me to get to my goal. If you know people that would love to try out the service, share my promo code with them so that way they can sign up for service. If I get 100 people to sign up this month, that'd be awesome. I would love that. And it's a way to save, but understand though, like T-Mobile's got to work good in your area, because if it don't, you're going to have a shitty experience. Okay, full transparency there. If T-Mobile's not good in your area at all, you're going to have a bad experience. But if T-Mobile works great and you're tired of paying $70, $80, $90 a month on a phone bill and you don't give a shit about the Netflix subscriptions and stuff like that, go Helium. Go Helium. Try it out for 1 month free. Scan that QR code. Until then, I'll see you guys in the next time. Thank you for being here. Coffee, thanks for being here. Michael, thanks for being here. B-Tech, thanks for being here as well. Sneed, thanks for popping in. Appreciate you. Borgranta, thanks for being here as well. Brian Lau, thanks for being here. Isaac, thanks for being here. I appreciate you guys. Everything Tech, thanks for being here as well. Shout out to you guys for being here, and all those that were watching but didn't say anything. Come back. I'll talk to y'all later, man. Aloha.